Today we're talking about MCT oil. You may have heard about MCT oil but may not know a lot of the actual facts behind it. A lot of times you're going to find MCT oil on the market that's made from either coconut oil or from palm oil. My preference is actually for coconut oil. That's mostly because of the environmental impact that the palm oil has on the orangutan environment. So first what we want to do is have a look at the makeup or the breakdown of MCT. The MCT oil is a carbon chain length of between 6 and 12, and this is why we call it a medium chain triglyceride. And this is a shorter saturated fat, unlike normal saturated fat, which is kind of in between the 13 to 24 carbon chain length. So with MCT oil, because it is a shorter chain length, it breaks down readily in the gut, into the bloodstream and into the liver, and metabolized by the liver very quickly. So the MCT oil is made up of 4 primary chains that we're talking about here. It's caproic acid, which is your C6, and then you have your caproic acid, which is C8, and then your caprylic acid, which is your C10, and then the last one, which most people know from MCT oil, which is lauric acid, which is the one that's from coconut oil. And in coconut oil you find in about 50% of the coconut oil content of MCT is made up of lauric acid, which is then, when it's processed into MCT oil, they attempt to reduce that percentage down to a much lower number. Sometimes they use a harsh chemical process, sometimes they use a more natural process. What we look at when we're selecting our MCT oil is the companies that use a more natural process. One of the companies that we've come across that works very well is the MCT oil here from Crayhorn Research. They are actually very good quality, 100% from actually coconut oil, and is in the carbon chain length that we want in here. So it's higher in the C8 and C10 chains, it's low in the C6 and low in the C12. I believe the C6 and C12 is at a percentage of only about 2%, so it's very, very low. Many of the benefits for the MCT oil range from looking at diseases such as Alzheimer's, Parkinson's disease as well, seizure-based conditions such as epilepsy, and then even through to doing work with diabetes, particularly type 2 diabetes. It can be beneficial for correcting that disorder. So its health benefits go beyond just in the gym. It can be actually very beneficial for many different medical conditions. In the gym we're actually looking at using it for mostly people use it for weight loss, but there are benefits also beyond that in the gym. One of the things that can be used for is rich source of energy, because it is readily available and processed quickly, that it can be a very rich source of energy, especially if you're on a ketogenic type diet. The advantage of that is that MCT is rapidly converted to what we call beta-hydroxybutyrate, which is it's a ketone, but it's actually not exactly a ketone. It's attached to a ketone body. So the beta-hydroxybutyrate is readily available for the brain. It's actually very well absorbed, and also a lot of the organs actually preferred fuel source also is derived from the beta-hydroxybutyrate or from ketones. So its benefits are not just with weight loss, energy production, but also as far as brain function, focus. You find children maybe with ADHD or ADD may benefit from it as well, along with dietary modifications. Some of the other things that people don't realize is that you can actually use it for cooking too. Burn temperature, or the boiling temperature, is over 240 degrees Celsius, so therefore you're going to have a hard time actually causing any real damage to the structure. So you can actually use it for most cooking. We use it for cooking our steaks, even in baking process as well. One of the questions we do get a lot is, why don't I just take coconut oil? But as I mentioned earlier, remember coconut oil is, the MCT content is up to 50% from lauric acid. So this is the one which is a C8 chain, which doesn't actually metabolize as fast, and it can be actually act more like a long chain fatty acids in that process. So we actually want to lower that to a lower percentage, like as I said, in this product here, we have a 2% content, which allows us to focus more on the C8 and C10 chains, which has benefits for the fast metabolism in the liver and through the gut very quickly. So when you're taking in just coconut oil, you're going to find that you're getting most of the MCT content from the C12 or the lactic acid, and then you're going to lose many of the benefits you're looking for from taking MCT oil. When you first start taking the MCT oil, you want to start taking it in a more lower dosage, primarily because of the gastric effects it can have. It does have benefit for conditions such as dysbiosis, but if you take it too quickly too soon, it can cause some gastral discomfort and distress as well. So when I recommend it to clients, I look at starting them on maybe just a teaspoon at a time, and I usually start them taking it with a meal, and this will help with that whole process. Once they get more used to it, then we can actually start either upping the dosage, and also you can actually take it without a meal. But do start off easy, starting with 1 to 3 teaspoons per day, and you can go as high as up to 5 or 10 tablespoons per day, especially if you're using it for medical conditions, as we mentioned earlier.